on FYKU whether or not they want to take that into consideration. As you see right there, VNC, I don't know how serious that is, but
that is kind of funny though.
Yeah. So the blind band of the Swiftblade, obviously misclick there as he puts it, but
of course, yeah. Last game they
exactly.
had Wild Soul. FYKU had
Karma,
Wild Soul.
Maybe.
Where VN Sensation, they said it's not our problem. You clicked wrong.
You can call it karma.
You could.
Oh my God! I was setting that one up so well.
I'm gonna steal your joke though. You could call.
No, you're gonna tell it to them now.
Karma.
Whoa,
ho, 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 ho.
Oh boy!
I'm so funny. They're gonna think it's me too.
They're gonna think you did that.
Taking all the credit.
You have so much fun here. All right. Actually, there was a couple of updates real quickly that I wanted to make too. The Diamond Division specifically, of course, that also going on the losers bracket currently. Q Squad is up 1-0 against Fortune Bakery, but they were in game number 2. I don't know if that's actually finished just yet, but they were actually defeating, or no, they weren't even defeating. I mean, they're up 1-0, but it seemed like game 2 was actually going fairly even. And actually monitoring the game right here, it seems like both sides have their advantages. So, of course, we'll see if Fortune Bakery or Q Squad moves on from there. And then there was actually Complexity and Lions. They're going to the third game. Lions won the first game, but Complexity did win the second game, and they're going to the third game of their best of the 3 series. So, quick update amongst what else is going on, at least in the Diamond Division. But here we are back in the Gold's Grand Finals, and look at this. Something smells the same. We got just like the first game in just like the first game in this in the previous series. Call It Karma did lock the Trollish Heroes, and it worked out for them pretty well. You see Shizor's response right there. So Aluna, the first lock. There's the Gemini Artesia lock. So we'll see this time how FYKU responds now. There we go. Here comes the Gunblade.
It has to be another troll lock.
It has to, yeah. Oh, of course.
Otherwise, you screw yourself over.
You're still not necessarily. You're actually that puts it back on Call It Karma's side now. So there's your artillery. So now Call It Karma, you want to lock a solid hero here. Because you're going to get either a Luna or whoever this is now.
Not necessarily. Like, if you feel very comfortable in picking Artesia and throwing him in your lineup or someone, then you could lock another horrible hero. But, yeah, no, locking a solid hero here would be fine. And that means they're going to get one solid hero plus another kind of trollish hero. Like, I don't know. I really don't think Artesia is a trollish style hero. I really do think that she's actually quite good. And even Gunblade actually is not that bad. And if you ask Heimer, he'll tell you that Artillery is the best hero in the game right now. So... yeah, but we are going to see. We haven't seen this for a long time, but these teams like to play. Well, I should say at least Call It Karma likes to play this way.
Yeah.
And yeah, it should be more interesting to say the least.
Yeah, Andromeda, the final lock. So again, that's kind of it's one of those shaky ones. I don't think that's even considerable a troll lock. I mean, that is actually pretty solid. Although we don't see her too often, she is a solid support, no doubt. So you can definitely make strategies around here. So now the banning stage, I guess you see there. FYQ trying to tease me a little bit, saying that they may pick up Berserker. Maybe they'll do it for me, but they probably won't. But we'll see. Hey, if they come through, I would love them forever. I am still intrigued to see that hero. But looking at this lock pool, man, knowing that we're going to get 2 out of those 4 middle heroes there, that's pretty awesome. I mean, I've yet to see Gunblade or Artillery, other than Mid-Wars, of course. I've seen plenty of Mid-Wars, especially Artillery, but nothing as far as competitive HoN goes. So that's going to be intriguing to see one of those 2 heroes if it comes down to it.
Gunblade owns.
Yeah?
I love that hero. He's a lot of fun. I don't know if he's necessarily competitive viable. It's kind of awkward and weird to lane him. Like, solo mid, you can maybe do a dual range or a dual lane mid with him. Like, that might work, and then kind of run him as a ganker style sort of hero. But as far as late game carry, actually he might be able to, but I feel like he would require a lot of items to do exactly what, like, say, Dark Lady can do with probably half the items. So, yeah, it's kind of awkward in that sense. But anyway, the band's coming out. Pebbles started off. Dark Lady, Draconis, Jeraziah. Final band coming out there for Shizor is going to be Fade. And, yeah.
We never got a straight answer out of... Okay, so it is banned. Okay. So he asked it again, and then Pinky Curdy's response is called Karma. So apparently, though, they are agreeing that Silhouette is actually the ban instead of Swiftblade. So that's just to clarify on that. So Silhouette is indeed banned here, and now we'll see what the final ban comes out to be, of course, coming out from the Jellyfish here. For Call It Karma, it is going to be Wild Soul taken care of. So you look at the options left. I mean, a lot of the go-to carries are banned, of course, and especially when you factor in Silhouette's being on top of that. So
Yeah.
we'll see, what route either team goes. Again, you look at the lock pool, you got Artillery, you got Gunblade, you got Gemini as possible carry potential heroes, so maybe they just figure they're going to go with that route, knowing that they're going to at least have one of those heroes, perhaps. So FYKU, though, the first pick Tundra here.
I think with Parasite banned and there's not any junglers in the pool, I would pick up like Ophelia plus Glacius here. I feel like that would be very strong. That would open it up so where you could really pick anything out of that lockpick pool and still be effective. Because you could go long lane and man up with like Ophelia Glacius or something like that. Like Ophelia Glacius Gunblade or Ophelia Glacius whatever. It doesn't really matter. But you would have the start to a very, very good lineup with just that. So I would personally do like Ophelia Glacius here. With Parasite being banned.
You do got to be a little bit careful with that, and my only thought with that is actually Tempest Ophelia is going to be the combo there. But my only thought with that is that, again, you look at that lock pool, and you would like to think at least you want to take either Illuna or Andromeda. I mean, I guess you don't ultimately have to, but so that means if you do go the Glacius, then you are going to get another kind of support stuff. Now, granted, of course, if Illuna, she can be played more of a farming, to even semi-carry potential hero, but if they first pick a Luna, then you're like Andromeda. Well, what do you do with that? So that's where it can get a little bit shaky, I guess.
Well, you don't have to pick Andromeda then.
Well, that's my point. I mean, unless you're just ultimately comfortable with the other heroes, but yeah.
Yeah, you would have like an Ophelia Glacius plus, I don't know, Gunblade lane. Then you'd have a solo Artillery, solo Artesia, or something like that. So yeah, you could even run Andromeda as a solo. But I mean, you got to find kind of something to work with. Obviously, when you have these style of heroes in the lock pool, because we don't normally see
it's not
this.
going to be perfect.
And that's just the nature of this mode.
Yeah. No. Oh, sorry, I was answering the ghost right there that you guys couldn't hear. But yeah, so it ends up being a Tempest, though, along with the Ophelia. I mean, obviously, you would think from that it's going to be a Tempest Suicide Ophelia jungle. We'll see. There's the Magnus Engineer combo, though, coming out from FYKU. So they get FYKU's lineup. I know once we get to the lock pool, it's going to change some things, perhaps, but they're starting off very strong over there when it comes to their makeup. Call it Karma. We'll see how they finish off here now.
I mean, Magnus Engineer, this lane is extremely popular. In fact, I'm going back and forth between monitoring Complexity's game right now, and I've seen Magnus Engineer played on Lion's team every single game so far. So it just goes to show you just the importance and power of that hero.
Yeah.
But anyway, Magnus Engineer Tundra, that's a lot of stun. That's a lot of stun. It's going to be very effective. Also, the Tundra ulti, one thing to think about, too, when you have a Tempest. They first picked Tundra, of course. But, or did they? No, yeah, they did. Okay, yeah, of course. Yeah. And that's very good against Tempest, too. Now, that does tell you, wow, Plague Rider.
Yeah,
very curious. Okay, maybe they're going to run a solo shore Tempest and a Plague Rider dual lane. I don't...
Double jungle?
I don't know.
Is that where we're going here?
That's a very interesting pickup right there. I don't know what to make of it.
That is, unless they just plan on having Plague Rider as their go-to support, which again, that's not necessarily the most idea. It seems like, but we'll see. Again, with this lock pool especially, you're gonna have to do something maybe different than expected. Andromeda is actually gonna be pick up over Luna there. I find that a little bit interesting, coming out from FYKU. Especially with the engineer. That's actually really weird to me. But now call it Karma. You got to figure at least one of these is going to be a Luna. Yeah, a Luna, and there's the Gunblade pickup coming out.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's FYKU. Which three will they go? Which out of the three? They want a Gunblade, it seems like, but call it Karma picked it up. Or maybe not, but...
Hell, I say Artesia again.
Yeah.
You go in Artesia Andromeda lane, and they're going to go with Artillery.
Oh, my God.
You see Artillery.
I haven't seen either one of these heroes ever in competitive play. Gunblade or Artillery. So.
I've seen Artillery picked. We actually saw it with Bunker Down a couple times, Team Bunker Down.
That was a game I wasn't here for.
Oh, that's right.
That was when it was you casting with Bryce, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Emperor.
Yeah. And, I saw him. I've also seen him scrimmed actually a number of times with, speaking of Bryce, Domain of Pain. Heimer has been running him a lot and actually had some success with him. But as far as Gunblade, never seen him. Never, never, ever have I seen him.
Well, you're kind of hinting there. I mean, he has potential. Whether or not, what exactly is fully there, obviously we're not sure of because just simply haven't seen him. But that's going to be fun seeing Gunblade. Now, the idea behind Gunblade, again, I'm not going to lie. I've played him once in Mid-Wars. Again, like I always like to say with newer heroes, I at least like to try them out in Mid-Wars to get somewhat of an idea. But I really know minimal about this hero. I just know the overall concept is pretty much... you want, despite you being a ranged hero, you want to ultimately be close up to them to maximize your damage because of his what's called a lethal range ability, being his passive. And you know his kind of the synergy with his abilities kind of work for that, especially with his ultimate, the grappling shot, where he pulls himself into you, and which also I believe minuses your armor. Yeah, applies a -357 armor debuff. So. Anyways, what's your artillery skin? What is he using? Oh yeah, he's the freaking cyborg here.
Pretty. I mean, I gotta say, I think his ultimate is pretty crappy. Like, I think it's pretty terrible. It does horrible damage, 300 damage at level 3. That's compare that to a Witch Slayer that does like 1,000.
But it stuns them for a second as well.
For 1 second, that's negligible.
And it gives them -7 armor.
7 armor. If you think about Pestilence Ult, which is like 15 armor. It's just a bunch of crappy little spells.
So it's a mix of crap, basically.
It's just a terrible. I don't know. That if anything needs to be changed about him, it's his ultimate because it's pretty, as Diva would say, it's pretty welfare.
Now, on the other hand, artillery. I know that it sounds like you at least have more experience, and now that you've even seen him. I personally haven't. I know nothing. I'm not going to lie. Other than I know I've seen him played in Mid-Wars. I've never actually played it myself. Obviously, he's popular in Mid-Wars. His LRM ability, the Q ability, one that just spams the shots or whatever, can get pretty annoying. The what's the one where he sits in the bunker down? That's right. Yeah,
gives him the range, massive range and damage. All right, well, let's just compare even to artillery's ult that we never ever seen. We don't really know about this hero. Stuns for 2 seconds, does 500 damage.
In AOE.
And AOE, and it saves you. So yeah, Gunblade's ult is garbage.
I love it. I love the conclusion. All right, so we see right here, though. Okay, let's take a look at the actual lanes now just setting up. So okay, we're going to have fun seeing how these heroes progress. But that's so cool. The fact that we have a Gunblade and an Artillery in this game on either side is pretty awesome. But anyways, Artillery is going to be 1v1 down here at the bottom lane against the solo Plague Rider. So that's how that shaped up. Middle, you got Tundra versus Gunblade Aluna in the middle lane. And then the top lane, it's an aggressive tri-lane up here being ran by FYKU. We have an Andro, Magnus, and an Engineer tri-lane going up what is a short lane Tempest with Ophelia in the jungle. So what stands out to you about this laning phase so far, Trill?
Well, if Tempest doesn't die, then it's going to be fantastic, but they should be able to dive him. Like level 2, if they can't do it too early, because I've seen things go horribly wrong when you try to dive too early. So once they get level 2 on everybody here in this tri-lane, then Tempest is going to be food.
Yeah.
So, but if they don't get it, they're gonna have the jungle to work against, and when you have a jungler working against 2 supports, they're getting basically nothing. That's massive. So if this is a passive game, Call It Karma is gonna have a fantastic time with that.
Yeah.
Now bottom lane Artillery versus Plague. I mean, Plague is fantastic in 1v1 matchups, but I've also seen Artillery just dominate, absolutely dominate 1v1 matchups.
Yeah, he seems like he's a very powerful 1v1 hero, honestly. With a bunker down especially. I mean, the fact that he could just sit back there with the added range, the added damage. Or that's what it does, right? Yeah, the added range and then the base damage, yeah. Pretty powerful. And his W, I guess, it's a stacking passive even. Again, I'm just kind of learning here as the game progresses on, so I apologize if it sounds silly. But, hey, we all are, let's be honest. I mean, the hero's just never really been used on the competitive scene. Anyways. So we'll see how he ultimately shapes up here at the bottom lane. You see him using the bunker down right there, and he's going to just stand in it and at least attempt to, and then finish off the creep kills. The lane is getting pushed up a little bit, but again, that's Plague Rider especially for you with the denying ability. That just naturally will happen. Taking a closer look at how creep kills are shaping up. Speaking of Artillery, he's 11-2 currently against a 5-4 Plague Rider, so it seems like so far things are working out for the better on his part. Tundra in the middle lane, 10-0 actually, compared to a 12-2 Gunblade. So it seems like Tundra's managed to get some decent farming in the middle lane. Top lane, we have a Bloodlust kill possibly coming out. Tempest, he's in a lot of trouble. There we go. Bloodlust kill coming out for VN Sensation, catching that midway through. But again, that's the combo of Magnus, Andromeda, and Engineer for you. Good luck getting away from that.
Yeah, and they honestly should have responded a lot earlier because they do have an Ophelia in their short lane. And since they're manning up long lane, you can maybe net a kill on one of them. But at this point, it might be too difficult. With the early lead that they have from the Bloodlust on, who got it actually? Was it VN Sensation playing Engineer? So it doesn't really matter, but that extra lead and extra boost in gold is going to help a lot. So they do have the response coming out. Magnus in a little bit of trouble, but he's going to have the Steam Bath. He does have a health potion, so he will be fine right now. But actually getting the stun out onto the Catman champion. But yeah, the response coming out now is just a little bit too little too late. So right now at this point, they need to put damage and response onto Artillery. Like, Ophelia should transition to the bottom jungle. Same with maybe Aluna after maybe harassing mid a little bit more. Because mid's doing fantastic. Shizor playing Tundra. He's up to 15-1 compared to 18-4. Gunblade. So I feel like you could really, really punish artillery down here.
Yeah, it just seems like the overall picture right now seems to be a little bit better in favor of FYKU Curdy, but Call of Karma, of course, still plenty. We're still very early on. In fact, hold that thought. Shizor in the middle lane in the meantime, not going to die there. I thought they were going to maybe go for a kill, but he just got a little bit too far away, and another Gunblade or a Luna were able to finish him off. Gunblade is going to head towards the bottom rune, though. Actually, a Luna will go ahead and take the bottle and get it for him, and Gunblade will sit in the lane still and continue to farm. So it's a good support coming out right there. But
he's leveling up his demonic shield. Now we never see a Gunblade, but I have played a lot of him actually.
Okay.
And I don't really like leveling up the shield that much. It does give you. I feel like the only reason that you'd want to level it up is because it does give you good movement speed. Like, actually, good job by Aluna. Does use that haste rune bottom, applying a lot of pressure to artillery, and that's exactly what you have to do. Is roam in that short lane because he's very easy to gank until at least he gets that ultimate. But I feel like your E spell on Gunblade, which is called the Lethal Range, is kind of like a 1-point wonder. I really do. It goes from zero bonus damage to 20%, and then it scales by 10 after that. So it just seems like it would be a lot stronger to at least just have 1 point of it, then maybe go ahead and max your demonic shield.
Well, I guess so. It works on creeps too, so yeah, it could even help you for your last hitting.
No, it doesn't.
It does not. It doesn't say anything about not. That's kind of interesting. It just says target.
It's only heroes. Yeah.
Oh,
it says actually under that it says only works.
Only works on here. There is that line right there that basically makes me look like an idiot. So. Yeah, okay, definitely didn't read that part. So okay,
I'll go ahead and talk to the developers and make sure that they put that in.
Make sure
22-point
that needs to be.
Comic Sans,
let's be honest,
bold.
that needs to be bold, a lot bigger. Because yeah, no, that was just me being a derp. Okay, so it only works on heroes. Okay, but anyways, yeah. So you may not be a huge fan of him leveling up the demonic shield, but again, we'll see how it ultimately works out for him. He is maxing out the crippling slugs first, as it's called, his Q ability. And
then another thing, because I have a lot to say about him because I think he's a really fun hero. That spell he just used, the crippling slugs, it is physical, but I'm pretty sure it hasn't been fixed. It doesn't work on action onto Gunblade in the meantime. He's not able to get off that shield, and he will fall to the combination of cores coming out to gank. So a good gank right there. But the slugs actually, unless they fix it, does not work on heavy ballistas, even though it's physical. Just one interesting thing to note. Also, like heroes that use the shrunken head, it should work on that too, but I don't think it does.
Interesting.
I could be wrong unless they changed it, but I remember it did not use it.
So the damage doesn't work, is what you're saying? Yeah, because it's definitely physical damage.
Yeah, it's physical damage.
It should work. Yeah, you're right. Interesting. Yeah, we'll get maybe an idea. Maybe if you get to see him use it like on a ballista or something. But yeah, I wonder if that has been quote unquote fixed. At the bottom lane, they'll plug on a nice sidestep right there, avoids the Keck stun. He will be fine. Middle lane, there was a little bit of action. You see Tundra right there with the illusions. The illusions go away, but he'll survive. Magnus, in the meantime, at the top side, Ophelia was coming over with the Minotaur and Vagabond. She still is, but Magnus is going to fall back. But you'd think Tempest and Ophelia, you'd think a good amount of push going to be coming out. And it looks like they may be grouping up to do that. There's a Vagabond leader Nuke coming out, so Magma is going to start preparing for some defense here. Andromeda also porting in. Maybe going to use that Aurora here in the near future. And there we go, in fact. So Tempest and Ophelia attempting a little bit of a push, but I don't know how successful this is ultimately going to be. Granted, it is a lot of minions that are going to be coming out, so maybe actually this tower is falling fairly quickly. It seems like right now FYKU not putting too much into defending this, at least going to maybe try to deny it here. As you see the invulnerability, the Minotaur chasing them around now in the background, going to really distract them. The stun not hitting anybody, but there goes Magma stunning in. Actually, they're going to go for a counter kill, as well as maybe the Deny. No, the tower goes down, but the Keck's not coming in. Ophelia, banana for the win. He will fall before she can even get her heal off, but the tower was killed in favor of Call It Karma. So at least that's the good news.
Yeah, I'll honestly say that maybe it was even a one exchange. Actually, they do clean out one of the creeps from Ophelia there, so that's good for them. But yeah, I think that's honestly a one exchange for Call It Karma. Like, they got the map control now a little bit more. They got the tower down. It wasn't denied. That's fine. They also forced the TP out of Andromeda. So
yeah.
Bottom lane, let's check out some CS of Pee-wee. Actually, the ultimate coming out. Plague Rider did a lot of damage with that. Maybe he wants to walk back in. One more auto attack from the Archer. And he does die. Jellyfish gets the kill on Pee-wee.
Man, I saw Pee-wee right there use his ultimate. I was like, oh, what is he doing getting away right there? But no, he did a lot of damage, obviously, on a Plague Rider, but just barely not enough for the kill. Now the shield going to be activated by Gunblade in the meantime. He takes the Keck stun. He ulties onto Tundra, though, running the other way. He's going to be locked onto the Keck stun, or the turret coming out in front of him, as well as the Avalanche to use, and Gunblade has a regen room, but it's going to be knocked off right off the bat. And down goes Alme. So good attempt right there on getting away by VN Sensation and Shizor. Just a little bit too much pressure. But yeah, seeing the bottom lane, seeing Artillery trying to do work down there with his ultimate, what's called the Artillery Barrage. but unfortunately it was not enough. So good kill. Onto Artillery once again. He's now 0-2. You said he's definitely he's a squishy slash hero that doesn't really have many escapes other than maybe that ultimate, but
yeah,
that's a big cooldown to use for an escape ability. So
yeah, it is. What's the? Oh, it's 90 seconds, so it's not a terribly
Massive,
large cooldown. But yeah, I don't know that much about this hero, so
neither do I. We're like I said, we're learning together really. Seems like FYKU, they're going to go ahead and vote to pause here. And what is game number 1 of our second series, as you could call it. Again, so the simplest way to put it, this is a straight up best of 3. The winner of this wins the gold division. The loser, well, they just finished second, which again, both are going to diamond in the end, but want to at least claim that title and a little bit more prize money and points. So. But yeah, this again, if you're also just tuning in, welcome to lockpicking, especially when you have teams that are willing to go more trollish style and try to affect one another. And both teams did that this game. They both locked some random ass heroes, and as a result, we have Artillery going up against Gunblade here. So
yeah,
having some fun here.
Yeah, it is pretty fun to watch. Like again, I said, I do think Gunblade is quite fun, and he does do a lot of damage like later on, and he just has actually overall good utility. But his ultimate sucks, and his E spell does scale quite well in the late game.
I just love how you just go straight to the point. His ultimate just simply sucks.
It does.
It just does. So yeah, we'll see though how both of them progress in this game. I mean, right now, Ame on that Gunblade, 250 gold per minute, not too shabby. Going to use his crippling slugs right there to push up this middle creep wave with the assistance of Ophelia and Aluna that are here. Tundra's off to the side, hiding in the trees. We may see some ports coming in. I don't know if they have invulnerability just yet. We are going to have some ports. A lot of ports coming in right here, actually. Gunblade will activate the shield. The minions of Ophelia actually blocking them a little bit. They want to chase down this Gunblade, but Tempest coming in for the side. There comes the Avalanche coming out. Artillery's here, but the Tempest ultimate going to pull them in right now. Are they going to be able to turn this? Artillery will fall. Engineer already going down. Tundra trying to survive. It looks like he'll be fine for now, but the Plague is coming out. Down goes both Magnus and Andromeda right there. Huge plays coming out for Call It Karma. And now Tundra will port back to base, but he's the only survivor. The rest of his team dies, and now they're very likely going to lose the tower as well.
I wonder if Ophelia had her heal up that entire time. I was wondering about that. Because Tempest definitely would have lived. Maybe it just came off cooldown. I'm not 100% sure. But if it was up, that was a misplay. Anyway, doesn't matter. Fantastic fight there for Call It Karma. And again, they seem to be having a very early lead in, well, really all of these games that we've casted of them. And I feel like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to see really who has the late game because as far as team fight goes, they both have fantastic things. Like you have lots of stun coming out from the Legion team, but you have two just huge ults coming out from Tempest and Plague Rider. And I don't know, it's a matter of what kind of items and what can Gunblade bring to the table in the mid to late game.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, and that kind of goes back to the Plague Rider pick in general, actually, how we were both a little bit taken back by that, especially when it came to the laning phase. But what Plague Rider did bring to the table for Call It Karma was simply a very, a lot of assistance when it came to the team fights, of course, and made your team fight even that much more stronger. And, of course, you pull up the hero damage tab. He's on top, especially after the last fight with the Plague bouncing around at 16% overall. So, yeah, not too surprising to see that there. Meanwhile, Tempest at the top side going to be double stud right here. They didn't do the greatest of staggering, though, to be honest. And actually, Ophelia's going to come in right here. The Skeleton King trap. And Andromeda may be turned on. In jumps the rest of the team, actually. And Andromeda will melt away. Magnus will be fine in the end. But everyone joining the party here for Call It Karma. And now they're going to push this top side. So, great response, I guess, coming out, especially if they, well, there is no first tower. I guess it's already dead. So, they'll go to the secondary tower, though. We'll see if they can get this one killed.
Yeah, they are pushing the bottom lane, and Artillery using that, was that level 4 bunker down? You had to do some extra damage to the tower. It is Glyphed right there. And I will say, most of the time when I do see Artillery played, I see only one into the fragmentation shells. I don't even know what it does, but I actually see people max out the LRM first. So this fragment passively adds a stacking 7% movement speed slow to your attacks and your LRM, which is your first ability. And it stacks up to 3, 4, 5, and now 5 times. So, well, no, 4 times right now. So, yeah, okay.
Stacks up to 5 times, so yeah, I guess, what, 35% there if you get the max stacks. But a couple of tower exchanges going on in the meantime, by the way. As we do see both the bottom first tower and the secondary tower up top also going down. That one in favor of Call It Karma, though. So, I think it's safe to say Call It Karma got maybe the better of that exchanging that went on, and as well as the middle tower being denied. So, yeah, things looking pretty good for Call It Karma here early on. Only just over 13 minutes in. We're at just about a 4,000 golden experience lead here. Across the board for FYKU, I mean, Tundra is looking good. Magnus looking really good. In fact, there we go. Portal Key just finished, so he's got his Ghost Marches and Portal Key here. Now, obviously, his mana pool is very, very minimal right now, so you can question that a little bit, but at least he's got the very early Portal Key here. And we'll see, I'm sure, at least we would hope to see here from the Legion team some aggression, some early aggression now coming out of them, especially with that Portal Key pickup. So. But Gunblade, in the meantime, he'll continue to farm. Now, we are starting to get to the point here of are we going to start seeing maybe some different item, or not different, but what item pickups we're going to see, especially on this Gunblade or Artillery. I guess it sounds like you at least have some history of playing Gunblade, so what route would you like to see him go here?
For Gunblade, well, it looks like he's maybe going to go for a Shrunken Head, but I don't know. The build I go is a lot different than, I mean, for fun, I would always go like, Shroud and then Geometer's Bane after that. I definitely think in general Geometer's Bane works out quite well on him. Just gives him a lot more utility, and I want to say that his illusions actually do propagate the lethal range. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think they do. And regardless, though, that doesn't matter. Geometer's Bane is just a great pickup on him. It gives him a little bit more movement speed, more damage, more HP, all that jazz.
Yeah.
And then after that, maybe something like, I mean, actually, Genjuro would be fantastic in the late game with him, but against this team, Shrunken Head is going to be a necessity against, Engineer with that ultimate, which isn't up yet because he's only level 4. Wow. The instantation really lacking in the levels department.
Jeez, yeah.
He's 2-1-1, too, so kind of interesting.
Huh. Hasn't been able to farm too much experience, yeah, and in fact to pull that up, yeah, he's way down there, even below his teammate in Andromeda. And speaking, I mean, you look at the overall experience per minute in this game, right now the Hellborn team in a much better spot. Oop, I don't know if that was me. Okay, yeah, that looked like that might have been the server right there. Everyone kind of just DCing for a split second, so I believe it was just a quick hiccup, though, and nothing too serious, but the game will move on. Nearly 2,000 gold now saved up on Tundra, actually, so Portal Key in the works for him as well. As I mentioned earlier, Magnus already finishing or picking up his. He now has a Grave Locket on top of that, so he has his mana situation taken care of as well. And with him coming up to level 11 as well as Tundra, again, the aggressive nature of this Legion team is really going to start shining, or at least that's the idea here, I'm sure. Going to be coming out from FYKU. So, but for now, Magnus will just continue to farm the top lane. Artillery trying to take out these what it looks like to be triple stack Ancients with the assistance of his team. Artillery, by the way, he has a Warhammer picked up. So first item Warhammer here after the Ghost Marcher. He's taking a lot of damage. Needs to be a little bit careful here. He is going to fall back. But now that seems like that could be a very powerful combination, of course. Artillery with Andromeda, as any ranged physical damage dealing hero can be with Andromeda.
Yeah,
so,
wow. I didn't think about that, but that would
uh,
be very effective.
his Q is physical, right?
Yes.
Yes, so.
Attack damage and physical damage over... Wow, I didn't think about that. That's actually... No, I will say, one of the great things about Artillery is talk about counter push.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and on top of the Aurora that you just mentioned, it's going to be really hard to get inside the base unless you jump in and kill Artillery first. So, but yeah, it does look like we're going to see a first item Shrunken Head up on to Gunblade. Another item I used to go on Gunblade all the time was a Nullstone, but against this team, it could be kind of effective, but
yeah.
And at least I feel like in securing the late game, that's what Gunblade should do. So that's why I really don't... I love Shrunken Head. It's going to help them fight faster, which could be good, seeing how they're winning right now.
Yeah.
And they just press on them with a Shrunken Head. That could be effective. So yeah, I do like it now.
Well, and here we go. Avalanche going to be used on a Tempest. Will the initiation follow up in time? The Ophelia here already coming out. The Keg's not going to be used right there. Tundra trying to get the go. Magnus jumps in with the eruption. Great timing right there. Burial coming out, but just not in time. Down goes Tempest. Ophelia dropping quickly. The Plague's bouncing around, but it seems like there's so many minions there. Now Tundra and Artillery were already picked off. Gunblade and Aluna came in the background. Actually, wasn't even watching that, but they were cleaning up in the background in the meantime. Aluna will snipe out Andromeda there, and that will be the end of the fight. So it seemed like things were starting off very well there for FYKU, but like I said, the kind of a couple of fights going on right there in the background. Gunblade was tearing up people left and right, it seemed like, and helped turn things around. So it ends up being a 3-for-2 exchange in favor of Call It Karma when it's all said and done.
Yeah, if Plague got that barrier off on the Tempest before that Magnus jumped in, it was so close, then it would have been a completely turned team fight, but wasn't able to get there in time. And if that, at the same time though, if Magnus was level 11, that would have been a completely different fight as well, because it just does a lot more damage at level 2. Actually, the dust coming out onto Magnus, he doesn't have that much damage. He's actually, the ultimate is coming out, so he's like, payback, bitch. I'm going to get you. Magnus disjointed, even though the dust is there. Hello, balance. And he still gets away. Oh, man. That is one of my pet peeves And actually,
Yeah.
Tempest might get gone right here. The stun coming out and the slow being applied from that coral. He's actually going to stay alive right now with assistance from Plague. But why can he disjoint when he's already revealed? I don't get it.
That's actually an interesting point. I really thought about that, but the fact that he is revealed and the whole purpose of that is that he goes invisible, kind of disjoints it. That would be interesting to kind of get the thought on about that. But well, he stays alive nonetheless, and that's a great getaway in the end by Magnus. And obviously that really sucks for Tempest because he thought he had a sure kill. That's why he used his ultimate in the first place. I thought he did too, but it just simply Magnus with the great disjoint at the last second with the steam bath, and was able to get away. So
to be fair, I feel like Tempest could have pounded in a couple more auto attacks before Magnus ran away. I don't think Magnus had any charges on his power supply. I don't think he was going to have the. Obviously, if he had Steam Bath, it didn't matter because he had a Word of Revelation down there. But
yeah,
he definitely didn't have mana to lava search away. So I feel like he could have maybe got 1 or 2 auto attacks left. And I want to say because that stun is level 4 on a Tempest, I think that he actually ulted before one of the last stuns went out.
well, yeah, that's true.
So, but nonetheless, I still think Steam Bathing to disjoint, even though you revealed, is kind of ridiculous.
Silly, yeah. Yeah, good. Again, I've never really thought about that, but that's a great point to bring up. They're going to do some double stack Ancients here as them being the Hellborn team, as nearly the whole team was there. Actually, the only one not there being Plague Rider. He's busy farming up the bottom lane. We've obviously seen that barrier idle on him for a while. Has another 800 or so gold saved up. We'll see what he works on next. The Hellborn team, though, they're going to somewhat group up here at the bottom lane. Gunblade, the only one not with them. He has his Shrunken Head finished, though, and he is now heading over to the team. So it seems like Call It Karma, they want to keep the aggression up here in game number 1 of the next series. And they are going to try to push now this bottom lane. But there you go. You see right there artillery with the LRM. I mean, the creep clearing potential is no doubt there. And the Hellborn team says, we may not be able to do this. And they're actually going to fall back rather than commit to a push there.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. But, I mean, Call of Karma's in a fantastic spot. Like, look at the numbers. And like I said before, they have fantastic ultimates in these team fights. And Plague Rider with the first item barrier, fantastic pickup. I love it. You're going to have what looks like a first. Did Tempest buy a portal key in between all that?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. But a first item Shrunken Head, I think that's fine because even if you blink in, there's just so much. Like, you're not going to get a good ultimate even if you just blink in and find like 3 heroes. It's going to get canceled pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
So being able to run in there and just Shrunken Head and not. Like, if Tundra already ulties, then that's your cue. Like, you run in there, you Shrunken Head. Okay, now that I think about it, Andro can cancel it too. So
yeah.
This is not a good game for
This
Tempest.
is not a good, yeah. Well, that actually goes, well, go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, there's a lot of things that can cancel at ultimate. So he's got to have to kind of, like, play around in the team fight. Like, just kind of have a presence, stun a couple times. If he gets an ultimate channeled off for a couple seconds, then it's fantastic. But, yeah, and Andromeda's and Tundra actually are fantastic heroes against Tempest.
Well, that actually goes back to the point. I meant to address this when we were going over it, but the Nullstone option for Gunblade, and then why I actually think it's a very good pickup this game, because when you look at the Legion team right now, the Swap, Combat Stun, and Avalanche are the only 3 abilities that actually have could take it away.
Well, and the Cold Shoulder.
There is a Cold Shoulder. Okay, that is true, actually. I didn't think of that initially. But still, even with that said, I mean, the other 3 of the 4 are still actually abilities that I wouldn't mind at least, having to worry about taking that off before using them. So, yeah, I mean, I guess actually with the Cold Shoulder does change things a little bit. But again, the point being, now with the Shrunken Head, as you're kind of talking about, he could still be locked down with the Avalanche. He could still be swapped in by Andromeda. So,
right.
In that sense, maybe the Nullstone could have been just ultimately the better item. But he does go Shrunken Head, and he's just continuing to farm with it, however.
It's just really necessary against an Engineer. Like, Magnus too, because of all the AoE damage, but especially Engineer, because even though the ultimate level 1 doesn't really do that much damage, the purge effect that happens from running in and out is just too annoying. It locks you down too much. It's a huge purge. It slows you by a considerable amount, and you have to have a Shrunken Head to be able to freely walk to and fro with that ultimate down.
Artillery doing some, these are just double stack creeps here in the jungle, but he's level 11 now. He had a very slow, in fact, he's 0-4-1, so yeah, he really has had a struggling start. He's definitely died quite a bit, but he's farming 260 gold per minute right now, doing his best to kind of recover. And like I said, he did go the first item, Warhammer, so he's just putting out some decent damage. Very, very squishy, though, but I do believe that will turn into a Shrunken Head. I mean, if he goes up like a shield breaker, it's sure more damage output, but he will just continue to be very, very squishy. So you got to think that maybe the Shrunken Head is just the better option. We'll see what he goes for, though. Ophelia, she actually went the Energizer route here. So Astrolabe Energizer on top of her Steam Boot. So some good burst of speed for everyone on her team, as well as even the minions when you think about it. So
I like that.
Solid pickup there, definitely.
Yeah, I like that pickup a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, Energizer is a relatively cheap item. I love what they've done with it. Like,
yeah,
I really think it's a viable item. If you watch me on my stream, I pick it up on like every single hero just because I'm a big fan of the item.
Yeah.
And wow, yeah, Shield Breaker actually picked up.
Right as I'm saying that.
Does that work with his LRM? See, these are the questions that we need to have answered.
Well, it says what? Base damage, right? Or no, attack damage. Attack damage. I would. Okay.
I want to know if his LRM will proc the negative armor from Shield Breaker.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that makes more sense. Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't think it would. Like,
I would think it will.
I don't think it would either.
That seems like that'd be pretty ridiculous, especially if you get like a Frostal Skull or something like that. I mean,
you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's silly.
Yeah. That would be.
What have you got a charged hammer and you just sit back at the LRM? That would be
Talk
sick.
about mass creep clearing potential.
That would be sick.
A little bit of overkill even. Yeah, I don't think it does. In fact, we see right here, yeah, there's no Shield Breaker being applied, so.
Okay.
It's just simply, it takes advantage of the damage output, though, obviously being that it's attack damage, so. That's kind of iffy.
He's attacking really slowly, though.
And he's weak, man. I mean, at least in life, he's squishy.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of going glass cannon route.
Yeah.
He definitely has the range to do it. I mean, he outranges Flint Beastwood. It's 250 extra. I think he does. I don't remember.
I remember that argument actually.
Let me double check.
800 range with it. So
who artillery is?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me double check on Flint. You get an extra 240. So you're losing it by your attack range to begin with is 570.
But he's only 500 artillery, so I believe that means artillery is a little bit less.
Yes, you're correct.
Yes.
Okay, I'm wrong. For once, it happens from time to time.
You know what? I can't win them all, Droff.
So Flint has 810,
I think, yeah. I actually remember that discussion about that when Gunblade like first came out or something. But yeah, I think Flint is actually still the best range in the game when it comes to base attack. Anyways, but still, 800 is it's still really 10 difference at that level. That's like minimal anyway, so it's still the same idea at least. But he literally is a glass cannon though. I mean, he has level 2 shield breaker now, so the damage output by all means is there, and especially on top of the Aurora and Andromeda in general, as we talked about. That's a powerful combination when you think about it, but will that be the best idea? As this Hellborn team does have, of course, they got a Tempest jump in potential. Now, other than that, they don't have the craziest jump in, so maybe that's where it's going to be good for him. Conqueror is falling, by the way, and I believe we are going to see a quick Conqueror, an easy Conqueror kill here, coming out for Call of Karma, actually, and I think Gunblade's going to be the one to pick up the Token of Life. And there we go. Yeah, he picks it up. He has a broadsword, by the way, so we could see an Assassin Shroud on the makings here for Gunblade.
Yeah, we definitely. Yep, he's definitely gonna do it. And there's the Steam staff to follow. So usually you see it the other way, and for the biggest reason of you don't want to. Like I always thought this was kind of a crappy argument. Like I've heard this from other people before, and saying, you know, if you buy Shrunken Head early, well, you're gonna waste your charges early on. Like that's true, but who cares? Like you're using it to be effective in team fights early, which means you're probably winning those team fights, which means it doesn't freaking matter because you can always rebuy your Shrunken Head anyway. But this is one of those instances where I feel like he didn't need Shrunken Head that early. Like he could have gotten Assassin's Shroud first, then the Shrunken Head.
Well, he hasn't even used it yet. I mean, he's had it for a long time.
Exactly.
That's the biggest problem, so. Yeah, you can argue that, and, you know, in hindsight, obviously, especially, it's a case of it probably wasn't worth it, but he is going to have the combo now, nonetheless. And that'll be good.
I'm like, maybe you bought Shrunken Head and you thought you were going to team fight more than you did.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's fine.
Exactly. Magnus is going to push up here in the top lane. They're going to get this tower kill. No vulnerability, of course, coming in, but this could be a bait opportunity here. There is support nearby, but actually Tempest portal keyed in, but Magnus just did prior to that, so this tower is going to be denied here. I'm a little bit surprised by that by FYKU because there was only one teleport coming in. They had Andromeda and Engineer both here. It seemed like they could have set up a counter attempt, but the tower gets denied, and they're not going to be able to farm anyone because in the meantime, Tempest off to the side. He's not spotted by this Revelation, apparently. I mean, Engineer's kind of going in right here, but no, Tempest will fall back before he gets chomped. I really feel like FYKU missed out on a kill opportunity there, both on the tower and even heroes. But they do not, and Magnus will continue to farm. He does have an Arcana purchase, his first one. He's well on his way to his second one. Going to be able to pick it up here in a second, in fact. And he will be on his way to his Hellflower, so That's definitely a powerful item that they can take advantage of. And I'm guessing level 3 shield breaker now. No, it's still level 2 actually, but he's going back to base.
He only has 900 HP.
Exactly. I mean, again, literally a glass cannon. He sits back there. He bunker downs. Bunkers down. That makes more sense. And he just does damage, man. Did he buy level 3? Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, Assassin's Shroud will be up onto Gunblade in about 300 gold or so. Has the Token of Life for another 4.5 minutes. And I don't think Assassin's Shroud right now is going to be effective, but the great thing about Assassin's Shroud is upgradable. And into Genjuro, having such a very powerful item into one item slot is really effective on a hero that needs every bit of stats and items he can get, because Gunblade isn't exactly your hardest carry. So, yeah, that being said, if you can't upgrade it into a very beefy one-slot item like Genjuro, that's going to be great for him in the late game.
Now bottom tower being heavily pressured, but here come all the TPs. From the Legion side, Redstone going to be using the background. Swap out from Andromeda actually already on a Magnus. I don't even know if that was necessary. There goes Initiating on Thunder. Thunder will fall. Magnus does it with a great eruption though. Feel the chopping by the Tempest ultimate in the background. A great counter coming out for Deadfrit. The ultimate from the Jellyfish playing that Plague Rider. And a hat trick coming out. That is the team fight potential that we knew Call of Karma had, and they just showed it big time right there. Magnus being chased down. The dust was used, so even if he steam dash here, he is still 100% dead. Yes, there's the kill. Almay will pick it up. And a genocide coming out for Call of Karma.
Believe it or not, Gunblade actually did stun him right there. I know it didn't look like it because it was only 1 second, but he did stun him right there at the end. And the damage coming out from Plague Rider and Tempest, great Tempest ultimate, great Plague Rider ultimate. He's level 16 right now on Plague Rider. It's top in the game. It's huge. The team fight damage AoE coming out from Hellborn is just absolutely massive.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the drafting. It really does. I still think that on paper, like, the massive stuns coming out from the Legion team is great. But when you run a risk of running a tri-lane up top like they did, you have to get a lot of kills. More importantly, you have to roam on the jungler. That is the biggest thing. We saw Call It Karma actually did a similar thing where they were roaming lots in the first game of the series before, where they were roaming a ton with even just their supports that weren't like Magnus.
Yeah.
It was Glacius and Luna, but they were getting the job done like all across the map, and I feel like Legion FYKU could have done that a little bit better this game.
Yeah. Yeah, perhaps. And I mean, you know, if anything, it's kind of showing us where we're at right now. 13.5 thousand gold lead, 15,000 plus experience lead right now. The Tempest ultimate was clutch there. Deadfruit did a great job of, it seemed like, again, FYKU, they had some solid initiation with Magnus jumping in when he did. It was a great placement, but the Tempest ultimate completely countered what he did, basically, as artillery especially getting locked down. With artillery not being able to do anything in a fight, I mean, you're not going to win them if you're FYKU here. You need him to be able to sit back and do that damage, but again, it was just a better play, ultimately, by C1K. So, the bit even more, and it's getting to a dangerous spot here. I mean, Gunblade, a unique hero, definitely. We never see him on the competitive scene, but he's got some solid carry potential. I mean, he's got the Assassin's Shroud finished. He has 1,600 plus more gold saved out, but even more so, again, it's just really the team makeup in general overall, along with the Gunblade, and how well farmed he is right now about 393 gold per minute here. It's all coming together very, very nicely. Now, Magnus is very close to his Hellflower here, and that of course will be a solid pickup. And just like last fight, I mean, he could still initiate very well and make some big plays for his team, definitely, but it ain't gonna be easy. There's a mighty blade purchased by artillery, so
yeah, he's like, I need to live in team fights, guys. Just to put in perspective, though, like, I watched him take out the triple stack, and actually watch this right now. He takes out Ancients pretty quickly too.
Oh yeah.
Like very quickly. But to put in perspective, look at the damage meter. He's only 6%, so he's still not really doing damage in team fights. And when we think about this build that he has, which we would like to label as a quote-unquote glass cannon, he's still not really doing much damage. Like, in team fights, it's only 6%. That's
not that
when Andromeda is beating you, that's when you know you're having a problem.
Yeah.
And it could be simply because he's just dying too fast in team fights. And maybe that Mighty Blade will help him if he gets it into a shrunken head. But I think it's just a case of too little too late with this lead that Call It Karma has.
Sheepstick finished on Plague Rider, actually.
Holy
so,
God.
Yeah, he's Jellyfish, the captain here for Call It Karma. He's been having a fantastic game. Ophelia, I think I just saw her purchase a Soul's Bulwark, actually. She initially purchased an Acolyte staff, I thought I saw, but maybe with realizing they already had one Sheepstick, wanted to go a Soul's Bulwark route. And of course, that's a solid on and pick up on her, so that's good for them. You got Tempest. He is getting closer and closer. In fact, he does have enough gold now to finish his shrunken head here with the Mighty Blade and about 3,100 gold saved up. Yeah, again, there's still Tundra and Andromeda that don't care about that too much, but at least having it will negate a lot of abilities over here. That Legion team could have to perhaps stop that, but
Yeah.
FYKU, they're in a big hole right now. So like you said, it's great that artillery is farm those damage items and that glass cannon, but the 6%, that's such a good stat to look at this game because it tells you the story perfectly. It really does. He's only done 6% of the overall hero damage. He's second to last. So he's only ahead engineer right now as far as hero damage in this game. 31 minutes in.
Yeah,
it just seems like that shouldn't be the case. So
Hellflower and Mag is going to be good for them, but I don't really think it's going to solve their problems. And their problems are just everyone on the Hellborn team has farm. Everybody. Except maybe, well, even Illuna, she's saving up 2k gold, so maybe it's something like a push stick or something like that. But, yeah, I mean, there's just too much farm, and who do you really initiate on? Like, you go on Plague, well, Tempest is going to have a good ultimate, and then you have the heals coming out. You go on maybe Ophelia because she's the one healing everybody. Oh, here we go.
Here we go, Magnus. A great line stun right there. The LRM on top of Plague Rider, but in comes the barrier coming out from the Hellborn team, specifically Plague Rider. The Sheeps are going to turn the Tempest. No, he's not going to just hit. He's being swapped right away, actually. But there's the Tempest ultimate. Only pulls in Andromeda, though. Andromeda will fall in the background. Artillery is still here, but here comes Gunblade with the ultimate going to be used. And look at Gunblade just tear Artillery a new one right there. Takes him out. GG well played are called, and Call It Karma will take the first game of the second series now. So how about that? Call It Karma, man. They took the first series here today, which led to the second series coming from the losers bracket, of course. And they take the first game here in the second series with good dominance. So FYKU, they're the ones. They're on their heels now. Call It Karma is one game away from being the first ever HoN Tour Psycho Gold Division Champions trophy.
On top of that, if they're able to sweep coming from the losers bracket 2-0 and then take this extra series 2-0, that's a huge, that's a huge thing coming into the Diamond Division, of course.
It is.
Is with that under your belt. But I think we can safely say that this is the first ever Gunblade has a 100% win rate in competitive play. Is that correct? I think it's got to be correct.
Well, at least what we've seen on our HoNcast. Again, you can't sit here and say like all of HoN Tour, right? I'd be interested to see those stats, but at least on HoNcast, and the higher level for sure, I think it is safe to say. I mean, 1 for 1, baby. 100% though, he is up there. And, again, I go back to, yes, it was a lot of fun to see both him and Artillery, kind of see their style and whatnot in the competitive atmosphere. I still think C1K, though, ultimately it was just the team fight, the overall draft amongst Gunblade that just really worked out. Now, it was pretty impressive seeing Gunblade at the end there. I mean, he just destroyed Artillery when he jumped in with his ultimate. Granted, Artillery is very squishy, but still. That was a lot of fun to watch. So
definitely.
Well, game number 2, it's going to be interesting to see how that lock phase goes. I'll tell you that much. Are we going to see yet again another trollish style kind of responses? Or are we finally going to calm down here and go more of the expected? But
it's going to be fun.
It will be. Game number 2, guys. Stay tuned. Once again, we'll be right back. The Gold Grand Finals coming at you. We'll Call It Karma, wrap it up, or will FYKU force the third and final game? Stay tuned. Game 2 coming up next.